Good morning. It's a new week. It's a new Tuesday, and we're here with Conversations with Dr. Johnson. Dr. Johnson, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Welcome to Conversations with Dr. Johnson.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, today we're not going to talk about why we're recounting the votes, right? We're going to talk about something more valuable to all of you watching, which is your thyroid health. So, Dr. Johnson, the first thing they're going to say is, what the F is thyroid? And why do I need to know about this?
Okay. So the thyroid is a small gland in the front of your neck, just under your Adam's apple.
Yeah.
It is
For men. Women do have Adam's apple?
Sure, they're just smaller.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought God gave it only to men.
No.
To just show us how tough we are.
So thyroid is the master metabolism gland in the human body. It produces thyroid hormone, which is the master metabolism hormone. Okay.
Wow.
Now,
that's really important.
It's incredibly important. Now, it is possible for your thyroid to be overactive, which is not a good thing.
Which is hypothyroidism.
Hyper. Yes. Unfortunately, that's rare.
Yes.
On the other hand, your thyroid can become underactive. We call that hypothyroid.
Hypo, yes.
And that's extremely common, especially if you're over the age of 30.
Okay. So more people are hypo than hyper.
Oh, probably at least 100 to 1, maybe 1,000 to 1.
Wow.
Yeah, the hyper is quite uncommon, and the hypo is extremely common.
So is it the hyper that leads to a swollen thyroid?
No.
Where people have thyroid problems? But anyway, that's me with my common street sense.
Yeah, a swollen thyroid is called a goiter.
Yes.
And it usually is associated with an iodine deficiency and or underactive thyroid.
Oh, okay. All right. So talk to us, hypo. So how do we know? I mean, a patient walks in and you have this sets of simple diagnostic questions that gives you a sense before you begin to make a diagnostic recommendation. So typically, how would you walk through that to get that sense?
Well, there are at least 25 symptoms of low thyroid. And so these 25 symptoms, their presence or absence, is going to be included in the questions I ask.
Yes.
So symptoms of low thyroid, and nobody with low thyroid has all of these.
Yes.
Okay? So just because you don't have one of these symptoms I'm about to mention doesn't mean you don't have low thyroid.
And what if I have only one out of the 25?
Well, then odds are you probably don't have low thyroid. But if you've got 6 or 8 or 15 or 20...
Then, the probability begins
to,
a distribution, right? Yes.
Yeah, any one of these symptoms can be caused by other things. But if you've got 6 or 8 or 12 signposts all lined up, all pointing in the same direction towards low thyroid, you should take a look.
All right, we're going to listen to these 25 questions, and I'm going to be checking how many I have, and I'll give you my score online. Let's go, Dr. Johnson.
Okay, so first would be palpitations. Next would be headaches, especially headaches that are present when you wake up first thing in the morning. Next would be cold hands, cold feet. Next would be a tendency to hypoglycemia, low blood sugar if you don't get to eat on time. Next would be high cholesterol. High cholesterol means low thyroid until proven otherwise.
Wow.
Okay.
That's the relationship between cholesterol and thyroid.
Yes.
Very important. I have high cholesterol.
Yes.
All right.
So thyroid and cholesterol exist in a teeter-totter relationship. So if this is cholesterol and this is thyroid, as your thyroid goes down, your cholesterol goes up. And then we bring your thyroid up and that brings your cholesterol down. And this makes perfect sense because cholesterol is a critically important building block for human metabolism. So if thyroid is low, that means your metabolism is sluggish, and then the building blocks stack up in the pipeline. The cholesterol goes higher. Okay?
Wonderful.
High cholesterol has never, ever been caused by a statin deficiency.
Or, which is what is recommended for cholesterol.
Yeah.
Or by eating too much seafood. Right?
Yeah, that's not a problem.
Yes.
Okay, so moving on. What are the other symptoms of low thyroid? Overweight, difficult weight loss, some level of fatigue. Now, on a scale of 0 to 10, with 10 being the very best energy, if your energy is a 7 or 8, you probably think that's pretty good. And it's not that bad, but if you're low thyroid and we correct that condition, odds are your energy is going to improve. Okay?
All right.
Then we get to things like dry skin, constipation, hair loss, loss of libido, tendency to depression, tendency to anxiety, tendency to irritability, sleep issues, either trouble falling asleep, staying asleep, or going back to sleep, or in some cases, people with low thyroid sleep too much. We have sensitivity to extreme temperatures, sensitivity to heat or sensitivity to cold. Now, if you're a female, we have several other possible symptoms we can add in there. Irregular periods, excessively heavy periods, pain or cramping with periods, PMS, infertility, miscarriages. All of these things are potential symptoms of low thyroid. Now, I presume you have not had a trouble with infertility, but...
Why? Because I've been producing twins
well,
in a gallon, just like persistently.
Yeah. Now, actually, technically, a male with low thyroid may have some infertility issues. We think of infertility as being more of a female issue, but it can be a male issue as well.
Well, let's see, when you said infertility, I got kind of confused. So infertility is not a low libido, right? That's a different thing.
Yeah.
You could have a high libido but be infertile.
Yes. Infertility means difficulty getting pregnant if you're a woman, or difficulty impregnating a woman if
it's
you're
always
a man.
challenging. You never know who the guilty party is.
You never know who to blame.
Yeah, until you go testing. So as you went through those 25, I found out that I got 8 or 9.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So, but when I look at my thyroid results, it looked okay. So that means that my labs may not have been capturing.
Well, there's something called subclinical hypothyroidism, and what that means is that you've got a number of symptoms of low thyroid even though your blood test results technically look normal.
Okay.
Now, blood tests are very important. Keep in mind that with many hormones, and this refers to thyroid, it refers to testosterone, most of the hormone that circulates in your bloodstream is bound up to protein.
Yeah.
And that's the equivalent of putting it in handcuffs so it can't do anything, okay? So only the tiny fraction that is freed up from the protein is the active fraction.
Yeah.
So there are 2 thyroid hormones, T4 and T3.
Yes.
T4 is the storage form of thyroid, T3 is the activated form,
yes.
okay? So we don't just want to know your T4 and T3 levels, we want to know your free T4 and free T3 levels, okay?
Okay.
And we also want to know TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone, which is a measurement of how your pituitary is reacting to your thyroid level.
Sending signals,
Yes. So free T3 is far and away the single most important thyroid test we can do. Unfortunately, mainstream doctors rarely do the free T3. It's more expensive, insurance companies don't want to pay for it, and mainstream doctors just really haven't been taught the importance of the free T3.
Yes.
So in your case, you had a low to mid-normal thyroid reading.
Correct.
Okay? But in combination with your multiple symptoms, a holistic doctor like myself concludes that you don't do well with a low normal or even a mid-normal thyroid reading.
I have to be at the higher end.
We need to give you just enough bioidentical thyroid to bump you to the high end of the range.
Okay.
And so let's see what we've got here. So your free T3 is 2.6. The scale, the range is 2.3 to 4.2.
Yes.
So by conventional standards, you're fine.
Yeah.
Don't worry about your thyroid. Have a nice life.
But that's why I have Dr. Johnson.
That's right. In the
Yes.
world of holistic medicine,
Yes.
if we can optimize something, especially a hormone as important as thyroid, it makes sense to do that because not only will people be healthier, they will feel better.
Yes.
They will typically have more energy. They'll find it easier to lose that extra weight. Their headaches will go away. Their tendency to constipation goes away. Their loss of libido goes away.
Yes.
They sleep better, et cetera, et cetera,
For
et cetera.
me, the issue is the whole weight management thing.
Yes.
Because I eat less than Vincent or Dr. E, but for some reason, they burn fat better than I do. So
Yeah.
that's one of the big signs that.
Yeah.
But what are the other factors that would inhibit the production of thyroid hormones?
Well, if you have an iodine deficiency,
Yes.
that's going to be an issue. If you're deficient in the amino acid tyrosine, tyrosine is an important building block your body needs to create thyroid hormone.
All right.
And then selenium is a mineral that's needed to help us convert our storage form T4 into the active form T3.
Yeah, and I also hear that stress also could reduce impact your thyroid production of
Sure.
free T3.
Stress will take whatever else may be going on in your
Yes.
body and make it worse.
All right.
Yeah.
So, but okay. So you were talking about the things that the nutrients
Yes.
that would facilitate without even going bioidentical, which is what you meant. What are those nutrients, and how critical are they to our daily life?
Well, they're the ones we just mentioned, the tyrosine, the
Yes.
iodine, and the selenium.
Okay,
Those
and-
are the big three.
And zinc and the other B supplements and things like
Well,
that.
sure, we want to have everything
Big-
balanced
yes.
in our body, but the big three are the tyrosine, the iodine, and
Yes.
the selenium.
So we carry this product called Thyrotene,
Yes,
aptly named for the thyroid.
yes,
And it comes with all the things that you spoke about. It
Yes.
comes with zinc, selenium, vitamin E, A, and C, but it also has the tyrosine, it has NAC and acetylcysteine, and some other and turmeric. So
Yes.
very important product.
Yes.
But like you said, so let's talk about how one then gets assessment to get me to the right level and my maintenance level. So how would you walk me through that process? So you have my first set of results.
Yes.
What do we now do?
Okay, so so then we've determined that you have a subclinical case of low thyroid. We
Yes.
start you on bioidentical thyroid,
Yes.
thyroid hormone that is a precise match for the thyroid hormone your body has already been producing and is now
And that's a
deficient in.
prescription.
That's a prescription, yes.
Okay.
So we put you on this bioidentical thyroid. After you've been on it for a month, we're going to retest.
Yes.
Start fine tuning and adjusting your dose. Retest
Yes.
in another month. Adjust and fine tune. It
Okay.
typically takes 3 to 4 months of that process to get everything perfectly dialed in.
Okay.
And then once we've accomplished that, we're going to retest in 6 months to make sure that everything is stable over the long term.
Okay.
Because in the meantime, if you're taking your Thyrotene and your own thyroid is getting healthier,
Yes.
then at some point you're going to need a lower dose of thyroid.
Okay. That's the bioidentical
Yes.
prescription.
Yes.
And then just stay with the nutrients.
Yes.
Because your own thyroid is supported by the extra nutrients you get.
Exactly.
Okay,
Exactly.
wonderful. So if you have any questions, reach out to our favorite doctor, Dr. Johnson. He comes from the desert every Monday night and enjoys our Southern California air from that desert air. And also, he is experiencing now not listening to the radio as the count continues across the nation. But thank you, Dr. Johnson,
Well, listen, I think there's another important piece of this that we should discuss.
about the thyroid.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So, if you're fortunate enough to be diagnosed with low thyroid by a mainstream doctor, and based on what I see in my practice, I'm suspecting that somewhere close to 80 to 90% of the cases of low thyroid are being missed because they're not doing the state-of-the-art testing.
Yes.
So, if you have a doctor that is smart enough to do the state-of-the-art testing,
Like Dr. Johnson.
and diagnose as low thyroid, in mainstream medicine, they're going to put you on a synthetic version of thyroid called Synthroid. Okay? Now, Synthroid is T4.
Direct T4.
The storage form of thyroid. So
Yes.
the idea is that you take that thyroid and we will expect your body to convert it into the T3 you need, as needed, when needed, where needed. But there's a huge catch with that. Thyroid is the metabolism hormone. Now there are literally thousands, tens of thousands of jobs that your metabolism performs.
Yes.
Okay, one of those is converting T4 into T3.
Yes.
So if your metabolism is sluggish, your ability to convert T4 into T3 is going to be sluggish.
Sluggish also.
So very few people get much benefit from
the
Synthroid. Okay?
The synthetic version.
And a significant part of my practice has been taking patients who are on Synthroid, and they keep telling their doctor over and over and over again, I don't feel like this thyroid is working.
Yeah.
And your doctor looks at the blood tests and said, your blood tests are fine, just keep taking it, don't worry about it, have a nice life. They come to me, we switch them to Bioidentical Thyroid, and for the vast majority of them, it makes a dramatic difference.
Wonderful. That's why you need to work with smart, hardworking doctors. And they're rare to find. Thank you, Dr. Johnson.
My pleasure.
That was wonderful.
My pleasure.
And join us again tomorrow and Thursday. Tomorrow we'll be talking about our other favorite organ, the kidney, the one that you're also scared about because of dialysis. If you have diabetes, dialysis is waiting for you, except if you come to us, we can ensure that you don't get there. So tomorrow we'll talk about kidneys, and then on Thursday, another favorite organ called the liver. Non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, right, Dr.
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
Pervades the American culture. So this week, today was thyroid, tomorrow is kidney, and Thursday is the liver. Join us. Thank you, Dr. Johnson.
All right, my pleasure.